Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack. Unfortunately, Rick couldn't join us today because he's out traveling right now, and he will be back, though, for next week's choice. This week, I'm going to be talking about the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, and it is a random choice that yours truly chose, but before that, if you want to help support us, help us grow, or anything like that, you can go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will help us grow and get you access to bonus content. Also, if you want to help support us through other means, we do have some affiliate links for you in the show notes as well, where you can click on them, go to Crunchyroll, get yourself a free trial, get yourself a discount off their shop, or even use our promo code featured anime and get $5 off that very first box when you use that code along with our affiliate link with Tokyo Treats. And trust me, those treats are always worth it. They're delicious. I love them every single month, and it is always a wonderful treat to get them. And of course, all the other information and all the contact information is available for you in the show notes, as well as on our website at featuredanimepodcast.com. Of course, you can go support us through other means like going to our shop.featuredanimepodcast.com, and join us on our Discord. The link for that is also in the show notes for you. And now, on to the meat and brotatoes. The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting is a 12-episode anime that came out from July 2022, ran all the way through September 2022. A couple producers for it are Pony Canyon, Tokyo MX, Bilibili, just to name a couple of them out there. And then the studios for it are Feel and Gaina. Now, the genres for this are going to be slice of life and crime, or Yakuza, because it is in the title and the name, and the source of it is web manga. Now, Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, it really kind of focuses on Toru, and he is kind of known as a notorious enforcer for the Sakuragi crime family. He's also known as kind of like the demon for everyone in that family and everyone else around there. He's also been called like the Yakuza destroyer, for being able to go out there and just honestly single-handedly taking down entire Yakuza organizations. Not in a law enforcement way, but more so, hey, I'm destroying the competition because I can type of way. Now, what's interesting about this is because he is constantly going out there doing all these other things. He's just no regard for anything at all. His boss decides to say, hey, you know what you're going to do? You're going to play babysitter and take care of my young daughter, Yaika. And that's exactly what ends up happening in this anime. It is honestly a great show, a great anime that plays a lot in terms of character development. And honestly, it is a wonderful little show. It does have some fight scenes in there. It does have some points in it where there's a lot of fights or points where you get to see our main character Toru really showcase how he is. But at the exact same time, you see the kind of impact that Yaika has on him and his role in life and how she proceeds to move forward, and the regard in which she really kind of wants him there at all times, because he is always there. He is always showing up for her, making sure he does what he can for her, and then learning about her and basically throwing himself into the role completely. Now, one of the other great things about the show, which honestly it is comedic, it has some comedy in there, is that they're not afraid to sometimes break the fourth wall, and they talk directly to the audience or talk as if, you're really there, or if there's some shenanigans going on, they'll point it out. And honestly, it's really kind of a fun show to watch. It is kind of safe for some of the younger viewers out there. Teenagers definitely be able to watch this. There's nothing in there that would warrant any concern, but I definitely wouldn't put anyone below teenager for it. And you also see a lot of other intricate plots that are playing throughout the entire show. So you have his past, Toru's past, coming back and showcasing itself and really kind of putting you in a very particular situation or showing how he was and how people aren't really accepting of that, which is good that they didn't completely disregard how he was and everything else and just make him into a completely different character. No, you had this great character growth, this progression that you saw him eventually move and evolve into a way that made it so that way he could change. And he starts thinking more so about Yaika and going through all the pain points with her and just trying to do everything he can to make sure she is as comfortable as possible, to where he actually truly cares about her deeply, like as if she were his own daughter to a point, not in the same level, but you can tell that there is a deep affection. Like he truly does care about her on a deeper level. Like he will straight up do whatever he can for her, no matter what. And it's shown time and time again in this anime that he actually does do that. He will do whatever he can to make sure she's okay. And not because he was told he had to, but because he truly cares about her. And to see that character growth, to see that progression for him to get to that point was great. I truly loved that about him. And Yaika is, she's just, honestly, she's adorable, and how she interacts and how she talks and everything else. It just, brought a real smile to my face, and it brought a smile to my wife's face because she actually watched this show with me and we enjoyed it completely. It in all the aspects and every point that was going on there. We just kept seeing or interjecting our own daughter into certain points or certain aspects where it just made us smile. And it's like, yeah, I can't wait for her to do that. Or I think it's adorable that she does that and things like that. And this show really kind of hits those points. So that way you can watch it with your loved one, watch it with your partner, and just be able to look at that and go, that is adorable. That is amazing. That is, one of the great things about this show is the lightheartedness of it. And it's not to say that it is 100% lighthearted, because it does take some darker turns or more stark turns than what it really kind of plays to be. But at the exact same time, it makes you really appreciate how well the story writing is. And the music and the artwork in this are just really honestly, it's spectacular. I have no issues, no qualms with it at all. And it just really was a great series. I can't say that enough about this. Now, I've mainly been talking about the two main characters, Toru and Yaika, but you have Kei, and he honestly is one of the more comedic reliefs for it. His interactions, not with the two main characters in general, but how he acts, everything that he does, what he does is honestly a great comedic relief. It is not shoehorned in there. It is very lightly done, and it is done in such a seamless way to where it is not hard to have it integrated. And the same could be said about all the other characters. Anytime anyone's kind of put in there, it's not shoehorned in. They are seamlessly written in there or put in there in such a way where it is not jarring for you. And they also revisit those characters that are put in there. So when they show them or they bring them up, it's not a one and done thing. They will revisit them again at some other point. The show also, I feel like it does touch on some more heartfelt points, heartfelt moments where you go, man, I don't know what I would do in that situation, or that like my heart breaks for her, because honestly, at the very beginning, you learn that Yaika, her mother's in the hospital. She is still in the hospital, and she is in a coma. And so you have Yaika struggling and dealing with that, trying to come to terms and figuring out how she can move forward, how she can, help encourage her mother or realize that her mother's not doing it on purpose. And at the exact same time, just try and do what she can to try and encourage her and move forward. And that's where also Toru really comes in. You learn about the interactions that he had in the past and current, and you see how it all really plays out with all these interactions, because primarily everyone for the people in the family, the Sakuragi family, knows them and knows about them. And what's also really great is you have these background stories for some of the supporting characters as well as the main story characters, where you are able to learn more about them. And it is, again, done in such a way that makes it feel like it is not shoehorned in there. And they also, at the exact same time, will reference some of that information at some point down the line in the series. So it's not like they're just telling you just to tell you. They are telling you, and then it ends up getting referenced later on. And it becomes a relevant part of the story in the anime at some point, which is really great. I enjoyed that part of it. Just really tells you about the great storytelling and the writing that went into this. And so if you are looking for a lighthearted anime that's not too deep, that is a slice of life or a comedy or something that you could just watch with someone and just enjoy it and not have to worry about anything, because there is no any kind of fan service or anything like that in this anime. So if that's a concern for you, this anime won't have it. And it is a great anime. It's a heartfelt anime. It's a touching anime. And honestly, it is one that my wife and I will probably watch again here soon, because it was just that good in our opinions. Now, all the positive things and everything like that along the way, I can't help but also want to point out some negatives in that. One, I felt like it was too short. And two, I want to say how prominent Yaika is supposed to be around her father. He's not really a main proponent, but though I do understand it, and for the points he is there, it makes it more impactful and meaningful. You're also introduced to a couple of other characters where you don't have any real information on. They're there, their story. There's more background information that really kind of needs to be there, but they didn't dwell on that or provide enough information for a couple of the characters. And I know that it's done for more so for the mystery portion of it, because they will eventually, and I'm assuming if this ever does get a season 2, will play a larger role in it. And it's more so true that you're also easy to figure out, or you can figure out what their motives are pretty easily, or they just come right out and say what their motives are, but you don't know the background story. So they do have a couple characters in there where you don't have any background story too, which is fine because it's not relevant for those characters. But still, at the exact same time, I wish they would give the information, like why is he, like, how do they how do they meet up with each other, or how did this happen, or how did that happen? And there's also some points where Toru's moving through everything or doing other things where you just kind of look at it and go, nah, that should be common sense, bro. That should be common sense, man. You should be able to see that pretty easily. But then again, everyone's different. Aside from that, I honestly don't have too much more I can really say. I know that this is not going to be a super long episode, but honestly, it is a great show. You should watch it. It's enjoyable. It's lighthearted. It's really not that bad. So, on a scale of up to 10, I would give this a solid 8. It's an enjoyable show. It's something I would watch with my wife again. And I would have no qualms or issues watching it again. I just wish it was longer. I wish there was more, and I wish there was a season 2 and some of the questions would be answered. Other than that, it's a great show. It's not great. It's not outstanding. It doesn't blow my socks off. I don't have any real negative points for it, aside from it just being a decent show that's there. Next week's choice is one that Rick actually wanted to watch, and it is called Let This Grieving Soul Retire. So next week, we're going to be doing that. Well, that's all the time for today. I hope you enjoyed this week's choice. If you feel like I got something right, something wrong, did it too much justice, not enough justice, or anything like that, feel free to let me know. You can reach out to us. All the contact information and everything like that's in the show notes, as well as on our website at featuredanimepodcast.com. And until next time, I'm Jack.